There's a concept called future self-continuity, and it basically means you feel like future you is a real person. Not a vague idea, not a fantasy, but someone you actually care about. And it's someone who you're connected to. As an INFP, this has been quite a struggle for me until I figured out how to do it in a way that actually fits how my brain works. See, I did it naturally, but I didn't do it in a way that was successful. So, us INFPs, we run a lot of extroverted intuition, a lot of pattern recognition, right? Extroverted intuition is a perceiving function, and it's a way of understanding the world by taking in patterns, by connecting things, by seeing if I do this thing or change this thing, what emerges out of that? What happens out of that? And so NE is a lot of pattern recognition across time and space. You see one thing today and it links to something that happened 5 years ago, and that memory turns into an idea, and that idea turns into a new possibility, and that possibility turns into a whole imagined future. I need some water. It's kind of amazing, but it also means that it's easy to live in every different timeline except for this one. It's easy to float between past regrets and future fantasies and 1,000 different alternate timelines, and then look up and realize that we actually haven't moved at all. So the shift for me wasn't actually to stop imagining, it was to use imagination on purpose. So one exercise that helped me was something that I learned from Annie Lala, who's an INFP. You might want to check her out. So you zoom out. You pick a timeline, okay? 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and then you look back at your current life from there. Not with shame or pressure or anything like that. It's just looking back at it and seeing, would that version of you applaud for what you are doing right now? Even that one question changes everything because it snaps you out of this infinite options haze and focuses your brain to make contact with consequences. So I do the same thing in the other direction as well. I check in with my past self from where I am now. Would past me be proud of what I'm doing today? Would he be relieved? Would he be like, finally, thank you? Or would he be like, we worked so hard to get to this point and you're throwing it away? And yeah, so as INFPs, we can do this back and forth a lot with decisions. We tend to struggle to make simple decisions. If it's tied to our values and it's something really important, then it is easier to make those decisions. We often ask ourselves, is this right? Does this align? Does it fit all parts of me? And this is core to how we calibrate our identity and who we want to become and our values. But we do tend to need to speed it up a little bit over time. We have to practice making choices and not treating each choice as this permanent identity contract. Another thing that's helped me a lot is intentionally journaling about the future. Not just like, what do I want to do next, but actual important stuff like my life, the world, where things are headed. For example, like what I think personality type will look like in 5 or 10 years now as a field. And what's really cool about this is I've looked back at journals from years ago, and I've realized that a lot of what I wrote actually ended up happening. It's not because I predicted it like this future wizard. I wanted to pick up a cane, a staff, but it's my tripod and it's in front of me. Well, anyway, it's not because I'm a wizard, it's because writing it down created intention, and intention changes behavior. It changes what you notice. It changes what is on your reticular activating system. It changes what you tolerate, what you say yes to, what you say no to. So I'm not saying that if you set a goal, then you cannot fail. Unfortunately, life is chaotic, stuff happens. There are things in the environment that we don't really control, and people that are in our lives that tend to make things a bit crazy. But if you consistently recalibrate yourself, if you keep checking in with what matters to you and then adjusting your actions towards it, you start taking steps in the same direction. And that is how to use future self continuity, and how using it stops becoming some theory and it starts becoming a tool.